Hey fam, is your girl Nachi, and I'm here with.
Damaris, House of De Los Santos, mother of cats, and they're like mini dragons for me.
They are. You
I
treat
love my
them just like
babies.
you do,
Yeah,
like she
those are my
does
babies.
on House of Dragons. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
House of Kitty Cats.
Yes, yes. And today we have hanging out with us is Marie from the Culture Cult podcast. And we're going to talk about traveling, some tips, the joys of traveling, and just some memorable moments and what's our dream destination. I know a lot of us have that, and we always talk about traveling. I'm one of those, like, oh, I wish I could go there. I watch all those National Geographic shows and even bloggers when they talk about the different places that they've visited. I'm always, excited. I'm living through, vicariously living through all these people. So I'm kind of excited that Marie is here because she is one of those types that I want to hear all about all travels. So, Marie, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your podcast.
Well, hey y'all, I'm Marie. I am tired. First of all, I just want to explain it's 6:30 in AM for me in Thailand. So if I'm like rough, but it's okay. Hey, I'm here. I am a podcast producer. That's how I'm able to travel. I started my own business and I have a very chaotic and fun history travel podcast called Culture Cult. And my favorite color is orange. That's not, you didn't ask
Ooh,
that.
How
I'm gonna
cute
I
is
let you know.
like
that?
orange.
My favorite color is like navy blue. It's very
Ooh,
me.
classy.
Yes, it's a very
Hmm.
type of blue. It's navy blue. Like I love navy blue. Navy blue
That's
is
high
just,
class.
And I'm
it
very
is.
girly
I mean, you're
pink.
talking to a high class girl right here. I
Wow.
mean, it is what it is. But stay on topic. I love traveling in general. And I'll say for me personally, I really owe a lot of this to my father because he was someone that was super big into traveling and really supporting us in that space. And for him, for someone who was orphaned like at 7 and really had to pull himself up by the bootstraps, if you will,
Hmm.
in in a country that's a developing nation like Dominican Republic, he was able to join the army, and they recognized something in him, and he got a scholarship and ended up going to Germany and went to engineering school in Berlin. So for him, that was that moment and that in his life, and that experience was pivotal,
Mm,
and it was life changing for him. And so I think he always was big on us in general as a family traveling, even domestically. We did road trips down to Florida,
that was really
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
Myrtle Beach, and all that. It
Hmm.
was amazing. Going up to Cape Cod. I
Mm,
mean, we saw whales at 10 and 13. Now she doesn't even
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. I
But
don't.
my
amazing.
father, we went to a wedding in Cape Cod, and we spent the weekend there. And so my father, he saw that they had like, some sailing boats going out to go whale watching. And I remember doing that. And Nachi and I did not know how to swim at that time.
Yeah.
And we're going on these.
I remember being on the boat. I
Okay,
just
you
don't
remember?
remember. Yes, I
Yes.
remember.
And that shit was tilting. I forget what they call it when
Yeah.
a
Stop.
sailboat is tilting, but it was like I felt like a 45 degrees, right? Like, but
Hell
Right.
no.
I wasn't scared, and my father was so
Yeah.
proud of us. He was like, "You girls are so good," and I was like, "What?" Because honestly, I looked at it like, "Yeah, if I
You're
fall,
gonna
you know how
save
to swim,
me.
and you're gonna jump in the water and save me." So I'm like, "I'm good,
I'm safe.
right, puppy?"
Exactly. Exactly.
you know. So so those experiences, and then I remember seeing the humpback whale, and
Hmm.
that's just
Hmm.
stuff like, again,
Humpback.
while we're first gen kids, we definitely had a unique experience because our parents were unique. And
Hmm.
even though my mother may not be the one to initiate it, she was one that supported my father,
Right.
and
She was
she was
down.
his ride or die. So she's like, "Okay, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing." I say all that because for me, that all those things in our life, like, again, because we're first gen and from DR,
Mm,
it's very normal for you to go back to Dominican Republic and have a passport at an early age.
Yeah.
So Nachi and I remember going. Our first DR trip was when I was like 5 or 6. So you must have been like 9,
Hmm.
8 or 9, and we have our passports, right? So going on a plane,
hmm
going through, customs. Like that was something that we grew up doing.
And quite frankly, that was kind of old for for
No,
first
For like a
gen.
that is
DR
true.
kid.
Yeah. Those kids are like going at 6 months.
Right.
My parents are like, chill, babe, chill. I'm like, come on now. So for me, that those experiences and what traveling in general has taught me, it's impacted my life very positively, and it's made me more open-minded. And I think that's because, again, that's how we were raised, to be open-minded, to be open to new experiences. So while DR was what we needed a passport for, going to Cape Cod and doing a sailboat trip to go humpback whale watching, like that's not a thing for girls from the Bronx.
Right.
Yeah.
Like real talk. So I love that. Like, but that fascinated me and made me want to explore more of the world without trepidation.
Yeah.
So those are kind of
Humpback.
like, I'd love to hear from you, especially since this is what you do for a living, so to
Yeah.
speak, right? Like you get to travel and you
Yeah.
get to work remotely and you still get to explore. So kind of what put that bug in you? What did you get out of traveling to want to say, like, I want to do a podcast about that?
Yeah. Okay, well, I would say I had a very different experience growing up because I grew up in Alabama and I felt like trapped. So while you got to
Really?
like be allowed to see the world, I felt like I was fucking stuck and I was going crazy. So like my first words, I swear to God, were probably like, I always wanted to live in New York. I don't know why, but wow, New York's the shit. What am I talking about? And so I just, my entire room was always, I was like weirdly obsessed with New York. That was, for me, that was the whole world because I was lived in Alabama. So that's like the next step. I didn't think
Right.
like Europe. I didn't think of China. I was like, no, New York. So that was my first idea, that I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. And then I just felt very like contained and stuck. My mom took us on like some like cheesy tour, like, you know, like one of those big ass group tours to Europe. And then God, that's when like everything like opened up. Like I was like, for me, it was the country of Austria. I remember I wasn't even that excited. I was like, what is this? What is
How
that
old were
place?
you?
I was, you know, I was in brat era. I was like 11,
Oh, okay.
so I have nothing.
You're
Was
11,
every,
okay,
I was
yeah.
spoiled.
Okay.
I was like, what is
Yeah.
Austria? What the fuck
Yeah,
is
You're
that?
like, and why would I want to be there?
I was like, Paris is
You
that
sound
way.
like my kids. You sound like my kids.
And so we went to Austria first, Paris last, and I was like, wow, okay, whatever this place is. And then I quickly shut up because I was like, went to Vienna, which is like just dripping in beauty. And then also I saw like how many sex shops there were. And I was like, wait, what is this? And I saw people were smoking cigarettes. And I was like, wait. And then I opened my window to my fucking hotel. There's panties. I don't know if it's for me. Like, I'm from Alabama. Like, I've been craving this rated R
That's
shit.
like
Like this
42nd
debauchery.
Street.
I love it.
Yes, I wanted. So weirdly, like the panties on that window really blew me. I was like, oh, like, wow.
You're like,
this is
as an
what I need.
11-year-old, you were like, yes,
Yes,
this is
for
what I want in
me.
life.
Yeah.
It's calling
This is
me.
it.
Yes. And so like, and then when we went to the Alps and I saw real mountains for the first time, like not that fucking nut hills shit, like
Look,
real
don't
mountains.
disrespect or like the smaller mountains, okay?
You're right. Okay, you're right. But I'm talking like
Don't
mountains.
watch
You have
your
to crane
mouth.
your neck. You have to crane your neck.
Said.
Yeah,
And
no.
then just like the cafes and just like seeing like just, I remember there was this building that was from the Middle Ages and there was an old clock on it. And I was like, I don't, just like little details like that. And then I fell in love with the language of German, started learning German. And just like, I don't know, really Austria, I have to really thank Austria for that. And then, you know, went out to a bunch of other places. So for long story short, like I felt very trapped most of my life. And I always made it the mission, like I'm going to travel. Well, it was to New York for a while, and then I expanded. Then after Austria, I was like, I'm
You're
going
like,
to do
okay, there's more to life
there's
than New
more.
York.
Right.
And then after Austria, I fucking was like, I'm going to attack the world. I'm going to not attack. That sounds, don't clip that. I'm going to take over. No, wait, what's the word? Travel.
She's like, she's very American.
And that's when I decided I wanted to travel.
She
And
said a real American.
but yeah, long story short, I just Alabama, I have to think being like stuck for so long. I think I'm just an extreme person. So if I grew up in such a stuck place, of course now all I do is full-time travel and like I have the ultimate freedom, like absolutely nothing containing me. And I have to thank Alabama for that, for being so
Yeah, no, that's
claustrophobic.
good. I mean, that's part of like what you learn from traveling, right? And I don't want, and actually I want to hear from you too about what do you feel traveling has taught you or the benefits of it, because I feel like it does, to me, it doesn't matter the quantity of trips you take. It's, it's when you do it, like, what do you get out of it when
Hmm.
you do go on these trips?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's all about the experience. I always talk about, you have you have true travelers and then you have people who vacation. And I'm the
Hmm.
type that vacation. I like to
You own it
travel.
though.
Yes, but I will prefer vacation over traveling any day because and I like a combination of both. Like it could be a combination of both. It
Right.
doesn't have to be all
Well, how do
vacation
you
and all travel.
delineate, Nachi?
What's vacation?
Yeah,
Well,
versus
okay.
traveling for you. For
Traveling
you,
to
yeah.
me, okay, traveling to me is, let's say you're going to another country, you're experiencing the different places that is known for that particular area. So you're doing a lot of these excursions that's specific
Mm-hmm.
to that particular area, and that could be very draining. I mean, you're up early in
Yes,
the
that is
morning,
true.
it's like an all day thing. So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't factor in some vacation time, as I call it, where you can just relax in. I just want to relax and
Hmm.
go try out some restaurants and just experience the people in that area versus having to do activities all day long. And to
Prove
me,
that you're there.
Okay.
right, like, oh,
Okay,
I
that's fair.
visited this and I visited that, and and there's some vacation, there's some packages that are built that way, right, where it's just
Right.
like, oh, you could take a tour, 8 day, tour of Italy, and every day is packed with something. And it sounds great if
And it also sounds exhausting.
very
Okay.
Yeah.
exhausting. So if
Okay.
I'm
No,
taking
that's fair.
off from work, if I'm taking off from work,
You're
it's
gonna
one
fucking
thing,
chill.
if yeah,
Do you feel like, well, so, okay, I want to ask you then, do you feel like our trip to Greece, was that traveling or was that vacation for you?
I think it was both
Because I felt
because
like
we
it was a
got
good
to,
balance.
yes,
Mm.
that was a great balance because we were able to see certain historical places,
Right.
and but at the same time,
I mean, we were
I
looking at
like
the
the fact,
Aegean Sea every morning, just eating some bread and having
yes,
good coffee
yes,
on the cliffs
love it,
of
yes,
Santorini. I mean,
loving it. But that was because we went to two separate places, right? So we went
yeah,
to
that's true.
Athens, and that's where we did a lot of our
Hmm.
tours,
Right,
and
right, right.
but when we went to Santorini, it was, oh, we're just relaxing,
We're
we're
vegging.
eating,
Yeah.
we're,
Chill.
yes, we're just having
We're living our
fun.
best lives, living our best fucking
Well,
Yes.
I
lives.
actually have like a hot take. So I am like a full-time traveler, and like I'm not one of those people that's like, yeah, I went 7 countries in 2 fucking days. Like I'm not like that. I'm
That's
actually
also
a
stupid. Like,
full-time
I feel like you don't.
vacationer.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So
Because
I'm in Thailand right now, and I like literally haven't left this island in 2 months. Okay, I left the island for 2 days, and I was like, I want to go back to the island. I want to go back to my
Okay.
right,
island. Like it's
Right.
like I have this weird duality of like I really, really, really love my routine, and I really, really love chilling. And when you're traveling
Yeah.
full
hmm
time, I if I miss the temple, if I miss the fucking cooking class, I'm okay with it. But I
Yeah.
think someone else is gonna be like, "Are you shitting me? You went to this place and you didn't do this thing."
Yeah.
When I
Some
went to
people
I
Lisbon,
are
I
like
didn't
know.
leave
that.
Lisbon. I was in Lisbon for 2 months partying. I'm
Because
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
also,
not
you know what
cultural.
it is? There's pressure when, since you're doing this full time,
Yeah.
you get to be present, veg, get a
Yeah.
feel for the place, etc. The problem comes with our culture in America where we have 5 days for vacation or
Yes.
7 days. And so
Yes.
when you go to a place like Greece, you're like, I don't want to waste any time. I want to make sure that I hit the big places. I can't
Yep.
go all the way, fly 7, 8 hours to literally just be at the hotel and at the beach the entire time and not get to look at.
But
And
yeah.
but you know what, that's me, right? That's in my head. I'm like, oh
Hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
God, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
So either I'm going there multiple times because I also don't want to exhaust myself. I want to
Exactly.
enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's striking a balance, and I think I'm pretty good about that, where I won't overextend myself. I mean, for crying out loud, like, my day to day, I don't do more than 3 things a day. So you people
Right.
with
Preach.
So
kids,
imagine,
y'all are
yeah.
wild to me. You're like, oh, I took little Jimmy to 5 birthday parties today and I had to pick him up from soccer. You're
Look, you have to
bugging.
multitask. Yeah, you have to
No,
multitask.
I
But
my body can't do more than 3 things a day. And I'm
I
talking about
love
2 little things, 1 big thing. Don't come
and
at me
that's
with 3
it.
big things. Like, this is why I'm gonna live a long life. And mommy says, Amori, I'm never gonna die. So that, like, so when I go on vacation, I still have to do like similar things of just like, yes, I try to hit as many things as I want to that I feel like I should, because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I've been there. I feel good saying that I'm in Paris. I went to the Louvre. Now, the second
Okay.
time I went to Paris, I didn't go to the Louvre
Yeah.
because I was
Right,
like,
right.
I've been there, done that. Saw Mona Lisa. Okay, yeah, David. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to go back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
So
when you
there's just certain
overpack,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you overpack to your traveling, it for me, and as you know, I don't remember everything. Like I don't remember the whale.
Right.
Like you
Right.
can't give me too
First of all, it
much.
was specifically to go
You,
humpback whale
yeah,
watching.
yeah. I don't
Okay.
remember. I mean, we were doing a lot during that weekend.
We actually were not. It was just the wedding, and then
Yes,
we
we were doing a
walked
lot.
around Cape
We
Cod.
were doing a lot.
Okay.
We were doing a lot.
Actually, your parents were doing a lot. You were just a
We were doing a
spectator.
lot.
But
We were
okay.
doing a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. 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 That's
One
the
whale,
older
that's
sister.
enough.
That's right. She's like, I can't fit that in my brain. Okay.
So
That's
we're
fine.
so
We're
we're
moving
not
along.
doing too many things. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
remember all this.
Yeah. Well, I think it's tricky.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's true. I lucked out because my corporate job, I actually I started off with 4 weeks of vacation. They had a crazy package, and then they changed it, but I was grandfathered in. And because I didn't use it all, I got to roll over an extra week, and then the
Oh my
longer I was
gosh.
there, I got an extra week. So by the time I left, I had like 6 weeks of vacation every year. And guess who
Wow.
used it all up?
Mhm.
Yeah, this chick over here. So
That's good.
I mean, one year I was in the office for the month of December for 1 week. And because I
Yeah.
tricked my boss. Like I told him, I was like, oh, I need the first 2 weeks to go. I'm going on a safari. So I'm going to be gone for the first 2 weeks of December. Then like a month later, I was like, oh, I'm going to be on I'm going to go visit family for Christmas week. He forgot about my 2 weeks in Africa. And so when December came, I was like, look, the projects are okay.
We're
Look, if
good.
nothing's going to go off the rails, I promise you. Bye.
That's
Yeah.
how you have to strategically
No,
ask for this time
Yeah.
off.
first of all,
Yeah, like it
and I
is a
never like
Separate
strategy.
really
time.
asking. It would be like emails that say, I'm taking this time off. Let me know if that's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
Because
there
I
you
was like,
go.
I'm not fucking asking you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
was like, I'm
asking
going to be
you.
nice. I'm going to talk to you nice, but I don't really feel like I should ask you for permission.
No.
If my
You're
work is
right.
Right.
fine.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, but this is all related to why people I feel like cram so much stuff, especially
Yes. Yeah.
from the States.
And I don't
Europeans,
blame
they have
them.
like they have the month of August off, so they get time to just chill and veg
They can
out
go to
and do
Spain
all
for the
those things.
weekend. Like
Right?
America, you
Yeah,
go somewhere for the
that's
weekend, you're still in your state.
Yeah.
right.
You're
Yeah.
like
You
just the
can't
But
go
town
too
next
far.
door.
but I will say, and I don't want people to feel, especially as they listen to this, that the only way to enjoy traveling and be able to get out of your comfort zone, because I do feel like traveling helps people come out of their
Mm-hmm.
comfort zone.
Yes.
It did for me. It still does for me. I will say that the United States is pretty awesome in that there's
Mm-hmm.
so much, the topography is so different throughout this country that you could feel like you're in another world.
Mhm.
100%.
And if you can't take advantage of traveling internationally, do it domestically. Honestly, when I think about my trip to China, by and large, the tourists that were on the guides, the tours that we were doing, or the visiting the sites, 90% of the people there were Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a burgeoning middle class. And so they travel throughout their country because it's a ginormous country.
Right.
So
Much to
for
see.
them, they're taking vacations, visiting other places throughout the country of China. So that's for people listening, because I know not everyone has the means to do this. And
Yeah.
so I've been blessed and with the time and the money to be able to do it. So check out other places in America.
No,
Yeah,
America
Be
is
careful if you're black,
incredible.
but still.
No, the nature in America is in fucking incredible. And even just get outside, go fucking camping. Camping, if you're like, I don't like camping, you can glamp. Just get outside, get out of your
You're
four
cute,
walls.
yeah. You talking to a girl. I'm not camping. But okay, let me tell you something.
I will go
So
to a cabin. I'll stay in a cabin.
yeah, I'll
Okay,
do
that's something.
cabin.
Just
You
get
know what?
out.
My husband says, because I always say, like, I don't like to do camping because I don't want to sleep on on a ground of rocks and stuff. And he's like, who does that when camping? I was like, I don't know,
I
but
do.
that's what I believe. See,
I actually love the
So-
ground.
see, okay, yeah, that's how you stay grounded, Marie. That's how you stay grounded,
I mean,
But-
isn't that how they camp?
right? Literally, right.
Mhm.
So I've been to multiple countries and I've had fantastic experiences, but there are things that I feel you should always be considering when traveling, like the
Mm.
best tips. The number one thing I'd say, especially for Americans, is get global entry. Now, the reason I say to get global entry, I got this from my husband when we were dating. We were just like boyfriend, girlfriend. And I got it for myself. And I was just like, bruh, if we're going to be traveling, we cannot be waiting on the customs line. And plus, the beautiful thing about global entry is TSA pre-check. So I got him that for
Yeah.
a gift.
Nice.
So the reason I say get global entry is because it includes TSA pre-check and is only $15 more than TSA pre-check. And so it's just worth it because what you do is that when you come back to the States, you don't have to stand online for customs. You literally go to a kiosk, you run your little fingerprints in your passport, and that's it.
Nice.
There's nothing else. I highly recommend that, especially even if you don't travel internationally, because you can use the TSA pre-check domestically. Always make copies of your credit cards that you're going to take with you and your passport.
And the passport, for
Always.
sure, the passport.
Because if you ever need to go to embassy because your passport was stolen, you need, you're not going to remember your
yeah.
passport number. So you
Right.
need that. And then your credit cards, again, if it gets stolen or you lose it, you can call the number immediately. The 1-800 number.
That's a good
That's
one.
just something to do. Bring enough cash with you. Right? Like,
Well, that's
I'll tell you
never
this.
cash.
You don't bring cash?
Never. I'm low right now. I gotta go to the ATM.
So this is something because Marie, you're of a younger generation. So this is before Nachi and I are analog/digital. So we were the lucky that generation of like, no, we knew what it was like when shit was analog. And now it's
Yes.
like, oh no, we enjoy the digital and we understand how to use it. But the having cash, because ATMs back in the day internationally was unreliable. Like using your card just wasn't something that you always wanted to rely on solely. So I always bring cash to exchange, and also I take money out the ATM at the country because usually you'll get a better exchange rate. With that being said, I remember going to Japan. I went with 2 friends and we were going. The other thing, if you know people that are living abroad temporarily and they're good friends with you and you don't mind, pop a squat on their couch because that is free lodging right there.
Yes.
So this friend of mine,
and free tour.
Yeah, he had a corporate apartment. He was in Japan. I was like, oh, I'm going, bet. I was like, okay, so let me know what's a good week. And he's like, okay. And then these 2 other friends like, oh, can I join? I'm like, well, ask him if he's okay with that. So one of the girls, I knew her, but I didn't know her well enough. Like, oh, we've never been on trips before. You'll learn people when you go on trips. You really get to know people
Yes.
when you get.
That
I will
right
say
there.
that. I already said we're going to Japan. Japan is not a cheap place. I'm starting off with, this is like 15, 16 years ago. I'm starting off with 800 cash because I intend to take out more when I'm there.
Okay, baller. I intend to take out more.
No,
because I was like,
you got a lot of money there.
Well, remember, I'm not paying for lodging, right? So I'm like, okay, that's the whole, you don't pay for lodging. I'm like, okay, no, a girl's going to enjoy her time in Japan.
Sushi money.
And so I'm starting out with 800, but I'm like, oh, I'll probably take out, I'm sure I'll use more. This other girl, she bought like $400. And she was like, no, that's my money for the trip. And I was just like,
Wait, how long y'all were there for?
She and I were there longer than the other person. So we were there for like 9 or 10 days.
In
I was
Japan.
like,
And she only brought
yeah,
$400 with her?
yeah, and that's all she was gonna spend. And then she also didn't like the food. So I'm just
What?
like,
Come on.
okay,
Get
What,
out.
right,
Can you,
time out.
what did she expect to eat
This is
in
what I'm saying.
Japan?
So I
you're in
was,
Japan.
so I need you to, when you go on these trips to another country, recalibrate your expectations,
Mhm.
understand what the cuisine is going to be, get your mind out of America, and be prepared. She ended up eating a lot of McDonald's, and again, like the
That's
McDonald's there is going to be
crazy.
different. Yeah, and she was just upset. Like she was like, I can't eat nothing here, nothing. I was just
That's
flabbergasted.
so
I was like, okay,
frustrating.
you wow. Needless to say that she and I did not keep a friendship afterwards. And
Yeah.
also while on the trip, I was doing my own thing. I'm the type of traveler that's like, I'll tell you, here's my itinerary. If you want to
Yeah.
join me on these things, great. If not, this is what I'm doing. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to do things on my own out there. I was like, because I
Yeah.
already was
Right.
going to go without you, broad. So,
Right.
but
Right.
you were like, oh, let me go. I'm like, I'm doing this. So I say all that, like, just bring some cash with you, and also just if you're going,
Be
know where you're
prepared to
going.
ditch someone.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I didn't ditch her. She ditched herself by not
Yeah, she
preparing for
ditched
this trip. Also, again, like when I went on a safari to Tanzania, I wasn't sure what to expect with the food. So guess what I did? I packed a bunch of Cliff Bars as
Yes, I thought
backup because
that's my tip.
yeah, because I'm not gonna be hangry on my trip.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Cliff Bars, but also grits for us Southerners. Go ahead
Oh,
and
Really?
really?
pack yourself some fucking grits and oatmeal. But like I do that, so like all last year, that was my breakfast, and I had like 6 months worth of grits, and I was
Oh my
hating it.
gosh.
And it was a good. I was letting other people try it because they've never had grits before, and I was like,
Mhm.
All
get
right.
yourself some butter and let's do it. And I feel like that was a good way to just save money on even like lunch.
Right,
You can do
because you're not
so much
buying
with
food
grits.
every single. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my
that's
God,
true.
this is a grits podcast right now. Like we
Right.
can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
so
Right.
much with grits. If you, because it's savory and sweet, and get the Cliff
Yeah,
Bar.
yeah.
Cliff Bar. And so the airport, you're not having to buy that shitty food. So that's a tip.
Right.
That's a good one. Like you
Yeah.
can pack stuff, but
Know who
go
know
try
who
the
you're gonna
cuisine.
travel
Come on
with,
now.
and know
But
who you're gonna travel with.
what about those solo travelers? Like, what tips
Oh
would you
yeah.
give them? Because I know,
Oh, I was.
I feel
Oh,
like Damaris, you've traveled with other people, but you really, I feel like you've always had your own path. Like
yeah.
Yes.
She
you're
was
never
always solo
concerned
traveling.
about what everybody else is doing.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm traveling here. This is what if you guys want to join, but
Right.
it's not gonna bother me if you don't.
Right. I'm like, I'm
Or
gonna
that we're
still do
doing
this.
something. Yes.
I was like, I'm still going to Kyoto. Like when I went to Japan, I was like, ladies, I'm gonna spend 5 days in Tokyo, but 3 days in Kyoto. If you want to join me, great. This is where I'm staying. And it's just like the one
Mhm.
girl didn't, because she's like,
Yeah.
nah, of
I
course
only bought
not.
$400.
Right.
Yeah. I only bought 400.
That's why I'm
Let's stay
eating
in my hotel.
McDonald's every day.
To Japan. I'm like,
What are you
okay, all right.
doing?
Right. So, but I'll say for solo travelers, everything that we've talked about definitely applies. But again, and Nachi's right, even though I traveled with other people, I always shared my itinerary with my immediate family. Y'all knew where the fuck I was,
Oh.
how to find me, what hotels, what everything. If I'm doing a tour guide, because this is me, I'm not gonna be caught up. I'm not gonna be part of a statistic or in a movie. Like it's not gonna happen. So share your itinerary with your loved
Talk about
ones.
Damaris
That's a good.
disappeared from my
Yeah. My
hostel.
family literally texted me, "Are you still in Thailand?"
See, you're
Oh my
wild.
gosh,
You're wild, Marie. Like
Marie.
no, Marie,
You are
They have
so
no.
like,
crazy.
hey. If you're one of those people that are like, I just can't be bothered. You can find your friends, and my mom knows exactly where I am on Find My Friends because that's on my
Okay.
phone.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she's
See, that's the
following
new
me.
way to do it. That's the new
So
way
the
to
what's
do
new
it.
way.
Yes.
this? Find My Friends.
And
What's
I found
that?
there's an app some girl showed me where you can like, as you're
I've heard
taking
of it.
pictures, it's putting it in this like world map, and you can see
Mhm.
your travels as you are going, and people can follow your travels and see exactly where you are. And obviously,
Okay.
it's only for people you want to invite in. I have to find that app. But also, this is an app for solo travelers. So I used to hate solo traveling. I'm not gonna lie, I really hated it because I was
Mhm.
Yeah.
traveling. I was traveling too fast, so I didn't have enough time to make friends. And I'm a friendly fucking person, but if you only have like a week in the Philippines, most
Yeah,
of that
you're
week
not
is
gonna
trying to get
really
settled,
connect.
and then
Yeah.
someone else is only there for a week, and it's hostels. And so this
Mhm.
this year, I'm traveling slow. I'm making groups of friends. I'm able to date. I'm able to do all this cool shit that you get to
Look
do
at
at
you.
home. Like,
We're gonna see you on 90 Day Fiance one day.
actually, there's someone fucking here in my co-living who's applied for that. So you're gonna see him.
Really? Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
No,
You gotta
girl,
let me
you're
know
gonna see
who
me
it
on Love Is
is.
Blind first. I'm doing Love
Okay.
Is
Oh,
Blind.
wow. Ooh, and I love Love is Blind, so
I
yes,
love Love Is
okay.
Blind.
I know,
But
it's so
no,
trash.
it's so perfect.
I
But no,
know.
so here's my tips for solo travelers. So there's an app called Time Left. You can find it on Instagram. They have actually a pretty cool Instagram. And this is for anyone who is going around the world and they're like, I'm only in Munich for a week. I still want to make friends. Every Wednesday in all these cities in the world, you get to have dinner with 10 random strangers from all over the world. And they pair
I
you by
think I've heard of that.
horoscopes.
I've
They
heard
pair you
of
by
that.
horoscopes, but I lied about my
No
horoscope.
way. Oh my God. Oh, I love that.
So
Yes,
I
I've heard of
in
that.
Portugal, I did Time Left every week. I met people from everywhere,
That's
and
so cool.
I actually found someone. I actually started dating someone from the app, and it's not a dating app, but you can like
You
you just
meet
Right,
happen
people,
to meet
right.
yeah.
people. But there were there were people from like Belarus. I've never even knew what Belarus was. That's a country,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. I met someone from Belarus, and I met someone from so many Brazilians, and blah blah blah. And it's a different way to meet people and understand someone's culture because you're having dinner with them. So it's like, do they drink? Are they
Right.
loud talkers? Do they
No,
split the
it's true that
bill?
you're not going to
It's these
get
little
online. Mm-hmm.
things, and you get to
Yeah.
make friends. And afterwards, after the dinner, let's say your dinner kind of sucked and you're like, that wasn't for me. Everyone's dinner around the city meets up at a bar or club after, and that's where you talk and meet a whole group of people.
That is so
That
cool.
is
Oh my gosh.
nice.
And it's
I
called
like
Time
that.
Left, and I
Time left.
highly
Okay.
recommend
We'll
it.
definitely
So,
put that in the
and you can do it
notes.
in New York, you can do it in America.
Yeah, I
There's
was gonna
Atlanta,
say I've
Nashville.
heard of yeah.
Okay.
It can do it in America actually. So if you just moved to a city or you just want to get out of the house,
Yeah.
Time Left. Another tip I have. This is such a good tip. I'm gonna put y'all on one. Another tip: wherever you are in the world, I want you to type in Korean spas all day. Korean spas, Jjimjilbang, and this is
What?
how you can travel and save on hotels. So when I first moved to LA, I didn't want to pay for like a $70 a night hotel room. I paid $24 to go stay at the 24/7 sauna, where you have the sauna, which is the sauna, you know what a sauna is.
Right.
But then
Yep.
there's the Jjimjilbang, which is the co-ed space where you have these huts with different minerals and all different temperatures. There's a
So
pool,
look at that. You're
there's a restaurant,
detoxing at the same time you sleep. You get to stay
and
overnight.
there's sleeping areas. They give you
Yeah.
floors are heated. You are going to sleeping on the floor, but it's heated and it's so nice, and you're so relaxed. You're so relaxed.
Right.
They give you a
Right.
toothbrush. They give you brushes to brush your hair. You get a locker. There's Wi-Fi if you want to work. The one in LA has a rooftop.
What?
There's restaurants in there, and it's 24 hours. So I would pay, and there's a gym. And so I've done that in the Philippines. I stayed in Manila multiple times and just lived at the fucking Jjimjilbang. So you need to
That's
type in Korean
hilarious.
spas.
That is.
That might
Oh
be a
my
little too
gosh.
intense for me, but yes, I think
But
if you,
if you're in an expensive city, would
yeah, I
you
was gonna
rather
say that.
live at a
Yeah,
spa?
yeah, that's smart. And you just want to, you're gonna be there for a couple nights, and you don't have a lot of money to spend. I think that's a dope. That's a dope way
And
to do
oh
it.
my God, it's like you get to be relaxed. There was an aquarium one in the Manila one.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just, that's my other tip is if you're maybe a business traveler, no, you're in your business, they're paying for your hotel. But if you're traveling,
Yeah. 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 If your company doesn't
Imagine.
pay for your hotel, you need to quit. You need to quit. Stat. You need to fucking go.
yeah,
No,
no.
that's good. I
That's a
will
good
also
one.
say is get a hidden wallet. So
That's good
there's
too.
tons of like little hidden wallets that you can get. You always just want something that's on you because, and I think it's funny, Marie, because your approach is your tips have been very more focused on like enjoying your time or finding like ways to save, and I've been more about save your life. Watch out for these robbers,
Save
because
your
my
life.
next tip is going to be pack a Swiss Army knife in your checked luggage. So
Can you do that?
checked
It's
luggage,
small
yeah.
enough, yeah.
Yeah.
It's small.
So here's the thing. When I was meeting up with my friends to go to Tanzania. Okay, so go way back in time, like about 15 years ago. So yeah, I think so. My business partner at the time, I had just met her and we were just business partners, but we got along really good as friends. And she and her husband, they're awesome people. They're like close friends of mine still to this day. I love them. But she was like, hey, we're going to go to Egypt and Tanzania at the end of the year. Do you want to join us on this trip? I was like, okay.
I love that.
But
Third wheeling in Africa.
yeah,
Amazing.
third wheel. And I love them because they never made me feel like a third wheel. They were never that
Even
couple.
better.
They were, yes. But I didn't know. I took a gamble. I had already,
Yeah.
the year before, I had went to Japan with someone that I thought I knew, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
but look at me, a year later, I don't learn my lesson.
No.
Anyway, so I'm just like, yeah, I was like, sure. And because of the timing, they were doing the Egypt trip afterwards. And it's funny because I really wanted to go to Egypt before Tanzania, but they were doing that over the holidays, and I spent the holidays with my family. So I said, sure, I'll do Tanzania. I want to do a safari. And again, God blessed me with the means to do it. And I was like, yeah, let's. And so they did say, well, we were thinking of doing like the camping style safari. And I said, well, that's where I draw the line. I don't do that. I said, I need lodging. I said, if you want me to go, I need lodging. I can't do this idea of a piece of nylon is the only thing separating me from a lion. Like, that's just not going to work, right? Like, that's not, no. So they acquiesced. They were fantastic. And the lodging was great. Like, we did it with a touring company, and we had a private tour. So it was just the three of us in the SUV. And it was an amazing experience. But I bring that up because the first night they were coming from Kenya. Like, they were coming from a different part. Yeah, they were coming from Kenya, and I was coming straight from JFK. So I'm flying by myself, which meant that the first night I had to be on my own. And then our guides were going to connect us and bring us together the following morning. And again, I'm a girl from New York City, so I said, okay, bet I'm going to pack this little Swiss Army knife because I'm going to have it under my pillow when I get to my room.
Right.
And so when my driver came to pick me up at the airport, in my head, I was like, well, where did he get that card sign? He could have like really hijacked this car sign from my
What?
real driver to try
We
to
are
kidnap me.
different. This is
No, we are
crazy.
different. So I said, okay. I said, let me ask him if he knows what hotel. That's going to be my. I was like, hey, oh, so do you remember the hotel we're going to? I pretended like I didn't know.
That's
So
right.
is he going to
Just to
really
see
have
it,
time
right.
to ask the driver after he attacked my driver, right? what hotel they were going to take me to? So I was just like, I'm going to test him. And he said it. And I said, okay, pass one.
Okay.
So we
Pass
get to the
one.
car. We get to the car. His name was like Saeed or something like that. I sending my sister a text, Tanzania all the way to Virginia. I'm like, his name is Saeed. I got in this
With
kind of
Saeed.
truck vehicle. I was fine. I got to my room. I locked all the windows. I put a chair under my doorknob because, again, because I don't know. I'm in this country by myself. And I was just like, I don't know. I've never been in a place so far from home.
Okay.
I'm by myself, and I'm like, I'm a single woman, and they know this. I've come in, they saw me. So
Right.
So I was just like, but I'm not going down without a fight. This is how I operate. So that's where I had my Swiss Army knife, and it was under my pillow, and I was fine. The next day I was like, hi. And then my friends came the next day.
Pause this real quick because these are all great things, but travel, I don't know, it's like not that scary. Like, people are so good.
No, I know.
But you know what? And I'm sorry, but America is sketchy as fuck. Like, it's sketchy as fuck. So it's like,
yes.
This is why I'm like this.
People travel and they're scared of the world, but they don't realize the world they already live in is way scarier.
Hell, yes.
Like, I promise you, there's not even like, I'm in Thailand right now. Oh my God, this place is a haven on this planet. There's literally no homeless people, weed shops everywhere. You can be gay, not just gay. You can be a drag queen walking down the street any time of the day. You can, as a woman, I can wear this and be at any time of night. I've never been catcalled. I've never been uncomfortable. Like, Thailand's incredible. And I feel like in America is actually so dangerous. Like, the American cities and even the countryside, the little boondock.
Well, this
like,
is what I'm saying.
towns.
Like, this is because this is where we come from, New York City. Everything is a scam.
True.
Like, I grew up at a time where you don't
have to
go
be
out
on
with a
alert.
lack of awareness, and that's why I just don't, and I still am like that.
You can let
but
your
it doesn't
guard down
bother
a bit
me
though in the travel.
No,
I feel like you
not
still
for
have
me.
to be aware. Yeah,
Not for you. Whatever makes you feel
aware.
It's just right. It's just a matter of being aware. It's just like, here's the thing. I'm like, nobody's gonna take me down without a fight. And that's
yeah.
It wasn't
you can still enjoy yourself.
It wasn't to bring the
still be
vibe
safe.
down. I loved my time in Tanzania. I love my time on the safari. But if I'm traveling by myself, I'm not gonna I don't know, I'm just gonna be strapped. with legal stuff. So I want to hear around like what's been your most profound experience while traveling,
That's like
and where did
when
it
I saw that
happen?
question, I was like, "Oh, no, that's a hard one." Like, I think 2 things. So, like, the first one was when I first went camping for the first time, and I drove across America to California, and I left Alabama. I fucking left Alabama and with my best friends, and we were seeing the desert for the first time,
Yeah.
and just, like, being just it was just the ultimate freedom. I had nowhere to be in the world, no job, no one. I had no responsibilities at all. Like, just we were our purpose every day was like camping in desert and just to see the world and just like I don't know, like that was a profound experience for me. Like life changing. And so yeah, the West Coast is incredible. But I feel like right
Yeah.
now, I feel like what's happening to me right now. My first year of travel, I didn't love it. I'm not gonna lie, hot take. I was like, I don't know if this digital nomad thing is for me. Like I was like, I'm kind of like I'm unhealthy because I was like eating croissants every day, and then like I was traveling to see my friends, but I wasn't making friends. So I was traveling to see that friend in Japan or see that friend in Amsterdam who had their own lives and their own friends and their own boyfriends. And I was just stopping into their life and just seeing their bubble. And it only made me miss California 200 times more in my community.
Right.
And I was like, I just feel like an actual traveler. And then this year, I was like, let's do it differently. You're going to spend as long as the visa allows. And so, in Europe, I was in Lisbon for 2 months, and I made a big group of friends on there, and we were just going. I shit you not, 6 days out of the 7 days out, like not just to the bar, like out
There was always
partying.
something to do.
Yeah. And so like I feel like I relived like my people say college days. I would say my California days when I partied there. So just like and just able to experience that was my first time. I was like, wow, I can have a big group of friends and I can actually date someone like intimately and not just like go on like a date with random people. And I know this is not as spicy and interesting as like what this crazy experience I've had, but like this is my life. Like I travel full time, and
Right.
I'm realizing if I go slow, like being here in Thailand and like I just the Thai people,
You can
I
appreciate
love
it
them.
more. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love him. It's just I can actually like be in the country and like and just what is like what do these Thai people do every day? You know,
Yeah.
like I'm getting to see this. I'm having Thai. I'm a regular at a Thai place. You know, so no, that's
Right.
not
Like
that
they
was
know you. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
community.
yes.
It's
I'm at
community.
the market. I go to the same fucking marketplace every day, and I'm like sawadika, and he knows what I fucking want. Like, do you know how
Right.
refreshing that is? From the first year where I've truly just felt like a traveler, and I was like, I thought if I saw one more cathedral, I was gonna scream. I was like, I see one more museum, I'm gonna scream because it didn't feel
Yeah.
like I was
Yeah.
connecting with the place. I felt like I was booking tickets, checking in, like checking out. Like it
Right.
wasn't attractive. So I
You were
would
going
say
through the motions.
yeah. So I would say my first trip was where it was like ultimate freedom. Like,
Yeah. Thailand's a beautiful place. I went there for my honeymoon. I
yeah.
love it.
And just being
Yeah,
here,
like you said, the people are really nice. And again, we went to 3 different areas and they're so different, right?
they're
Like
really
Bangkok
different.
is, that city, young, vibrant city, and then Chiang Mai, it was
Oh,
just like, I'm like in a
Chiang Mai.
rainforest or just like a cool
Yeah.
mountainous area, and I went to Elephant Sanctuary there and it was just
Yes.
like
Elephants.
so
I'm gonna do
beautiful. It
that
was
this
like,
weekend.
yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. Do not ride elephants, guys. You
Do
need to
not
go
rate
to
them. Yeah,
sanctuaries.
go to a
Yeah,
sanctuary.
yes.
Yeah.
And my husband bathed them. I was like, I'm not getting in
To
that
Yeah, I
not
water.
bait
get too
them.
But
close.
yeah, no, but
Eye level with one.
no, I was close. Like I pet when I fed them, but then they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you can go in the water and help bathe them," and I was like, "I'm good.
I
I'm
did that.
okay."
It was
I know.
incredible.
Yeah, my husband did it for us. I took pictures, and so
Yeah.
no, it's a beautiful thing. If I want to share real quick, because I know we're just talking away, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I realized for my experience, and I keep going back to my safari trip because that trip to Tanzania is the best trip I've
Mm.
ever been on, hands down. And it is in particular, because of this profound experience. And for me, it took place when we were one of our days in the Serengeti, and it's the 3 of us. We're traveling with our guide, and it's being in that kind of environment, that nature where you, the human, is in the tin can and the animals are living their lives the way they're supposed to. It's very humbling, and that was a point I never felt closer to God than at that moment. One of the moments watching some monkeys and some elephants just around me, and it took me, like, I got emotional. I remember, like, I was tearing up in the back, and my friends, they didn't know what was happening. But I was like, oh my God, because I was so grateful that I was
Yeah.
able to experience something like this that, again, many people with my background just would never, ever, or could ever say they've been in a safari close to these wild animals. And it's so beautiful. It's just untouched by man, that it was just only something like the creator could do something like this. So that's why I said I've never felt closer. And so that was a profound trip for me. And through that trip, we went to I think it's called Olduvai or Olduvai Gorge. And that's where it's like they call it the cradle of mankind, which is where one of the first hominids fossils were found.
Wow.
Again, I was there in this crater looking at it, and I was just like, wow.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And these are UNESCO sites, like these are World Heritage sites. And again, the next day we go to this place called Ngorongoro Crater. It's basically a volcano that has collapsed, and it collapsed 3 million years ago. And you have all these animals that now are just like, it's teeming with wildlife. And our lodging was on the side of the crater, and I'm looking at this while I'm sipping like a glass of wine. And
That's
like
just beautiful.
that,
yeah.
Yes. And I said to myself, I'm like, no, like when I can, when I'm balling out, I'm going to bring my niece and nephew here. Also, when they're old enough to appreciate it.
Right.
That trip wasn't cheap, but it was the best trip. And so for me, that was why I made it so profound. Yeah. And then we ended with Zanzibar, 3 days, like the beach. So Nachi said, yeah, no. So we did all that walking. We even went to Kilimanjaro, did like, a day hike. I was like, deuces to that, but I did it. It was great. I was hurting. Yeah.
So you got to relax for 3 days.
And then we went to Zanzibar, and I was like,
see, that's
yes.
a perfect balance. I love that.
Trip.
Like,
no, that's what I'm telling you. That trip
epic.
was just, it was epic, and it was the best thing, like spiritually too. So I love that. Yeah. No.
And then
we got charged by a leopard. I almost got warned by a hippo. No, I'm telling you, it was a best trip. Oh yeah, no, no. It was, and I saw lions mating. I was like, this is very pornographic. I was like, I don't know if I should be here watching this.
I
love it. Intruding.
Yeah, no, I did, but I was like, oh, he's like biting down on her neck. I was like, oh,
what?
Okay. Yeah, no.
So
aggressive.
Okay.
No, very aggressive, but I was like, I'm not
You're making
mad.
Love.
Yeah, no. He was like, girl, stay right here.
Right, where you going? Where you going?
Where you going? And then there's Damaris.
Yeah, and I'm taking pictures and I'm filming. I'm like, oh my God. I was Nat Geo up in this bitch. It was fantastic.
But, my gosh.
Yeah, so lastly, because I feel we should all answer this. If you could go anywhere, where would it be and why?
This is hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't this is a question I don't want to answer this. It's so hard.
Well, I have an answer, Nachi. You guys were given the questions in advance. You should have been prepared for this.
And you know what?
But this was a hard one. I saw this question.
I wasn't
so many
prepared
things to
for that one.
experience.
I know.
You go, Damaris.
Yeah.
You go.
Okay, well, yeah, just let me talk some more. I hands down Brazil, because after it's the highest population of Black people outside of Africa.
What?
And before I go any place, I'm not setting foot in South America before I go to Brazil first. That's it.
I always wanted to go to
Patagonia.
Carnival.
I don't care about Argentina. No. I'm going to Brazil first.
Wow.
Yes, I'm going to do. Our parents went to Carnival. Like this is the scam that my parents would do. They would run this scam with us as kids, and they would set up these trips for just them two, but not say that it's just for them two. They're like, oh, we're going to Brazil. And so I would ask, like, are we going to? They're like, no, you guys have school. I was like, okay. Then I'm young and dumb. I was like, sure, that makes sense. Yeah. I was like, that tracks. Okay, I guess school.
Yes, you couldn't be too upset.
Yeah,
Why? Yeah.
but they
Why'd you?
could. No, my parents, they lived their best lives too without
I
us.
love
And that's
that.
why, as adults and parents, you guys need to go on your own vacations too. It's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Drop them
Nachi and I, we
kids.
are not scarred. We are not scarred. We stayed with our aunts, we stayed with our cousins, and we were taken care of. And
And
my
it
parents,
inspires you. You're like, I want to
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I want
And
to make that
so
money.
they came back. Yeah, no, they came back, and it was they loved it. They loved it. That was one of the places they loved in their
Yeah.
visits, and
But that
so
whole
I
idea of
definitely want to go there.
affordability, especially when you have kids,
Hmm.
I think that's what stops a lot of people from traveling if
Yeah,
they have children, is
because you think
I
because
about you got
they're
to do
like,
it for
oh, I have
everybody.
my whole family that I got to pay for. But if you're
yeah.
thinking
Nah,
about it and like, this is just me and my partner, just me,
yeah,
me and a friend, then yeah, I think that's even more attainable than trying to take the whole family, because I know
Yeah.
how
I
that
did meet
is.
this woman though. Like she's traveling with 4 kids, 2 teenagers and 2
Wow.
tweens.
oh,
And
that's
Is she
fun.
homeschooling them too? Because I've seen, I
I think
I
so.
love to
I don't
follow
even
people
know.
who travel,
I like that.
and I know there's a
Yeah,
couple of people that I follow, their family, and that's part of their homeschooling, is that they travel with their children
I love that.
and teach them the different culture, and
Oh,
I just think that's
so
just so
sick.
beautiful. I'm like, oh, that's
It is.
wonderful. I love that. I wish I could do that.
That's so yeah, no, it's impressive.
Not
She has to
really.
travel
Like, I don't
very, very,
want
very
to.
slowly. No, Brazil, that's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna cheat and not say just one. I'll make it.
Okay, go
Because I have a
ahead.
life goal. I have a life goal that I want to hit. And then okay, so I'm gonna break these 3 down. There's just 3, it's just 3 that are on my
3.
bucket list.
I mean,
Well, go
we're
ahead,
over an
girl.
hour already. Come on,
Go
Marie.
ahead,
No,
Marie.
this is quick. It's quick fire. It's rapid fire. Okay. I want to do a spa and food tour of Japan, Taiwan, and Korea. That's one very expensive
Ooh,
trip.
Yeah,
okay.
I like
I'm
that.
doing South Africa. I'm going on my birthday. I want to go on my birthday because there's a whale festival on Labor Day,
Hmm.
and you
Okay.
watch
Okay.
whales jump from a cliff. Like no, they don't
What?
jump from a cliff. You watch
I'm
it
like,
from a
wait a
cliff.
minute. They're now land animals?
They
What are we
commit
doing here,
suicide.
Marie? What's going on? Talk to
No,
us.
no, you were on a
What?
cliff.
Are you crying out for help? She's like, they jumped from the cliff? What? It's too early in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
We know she hasn't had enough coffee, guys. It's
I know, y'all.
6:30 in the morning for her.
It's
Yeah.
yes, but no, you're on a cliff and you watch whales jump. Period.
Mm.
You don't jump though.
You don't know what's jumping. Oh my god. Sorry.
Oh gosh.
Yes, that one's very nice.
Okay.
I like
I
that.
want to go camping and trekking in Alaska for a month and
Okay.
do like
Okay.
a
I
train
do want to see
thing
the
there.
Northern Lights kind of thing.
Mhm.
And
I want to do
what is-
Alaska.
yeah.
And then my life goal, my big goal is I want to walk across a continent.
Walk,
Oh,
really?
okay. I'll pray for you. Yes, I want you to
I'll
do
pray
that
for
too.
you.
No, like when we went to Kilimanjaro, you can do, I think in 6 days, you can do the hike and go all the way to the top,
Wow.
the highest summit. And because we were just doing it a day, it was a day hike. We just went to the first summit, and it's 3 miles up and down, so it's 6 miles. That I hiked. I don't hike. My legs were killing me. Anyway, so my friends were like, "Oh, why don't we just come back and do Kilimanjaro next time?" And I said, "Well, here's the thing, because of Kilimanjaro, there's no lodging. You're camping, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I'm happy to get on a helicopter and be dropped off at the top so I can get the view. And, and they said, but that takes out all the fun. I said, what fun are you referring to? Like,
Like,
you and I have different definitions of fun.
hiking up this is not fun.
Yeah. I was just like,
you're hiking and you see fucking Damaris in that
yes. I was like, I'll come down the ladder, like, oh, hey. And I'm like, wow, this view is amazing. Like, the exhilaration for me doesn't come from the hike. The exhilaration comes from the view. So, yeah.
Right.
So you tell us how that works out for you, Marie. I'm excited for you walking across a continent.
I'm gonna walk
That
across a
is,
continent.
yeah, that's aggressive, because not even a country. You said a whole ass continent.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
do you understand how big continents are? I just want to understand if
She's like,
you
I'm gonna
understand
find
the gravity
out.
of what you just said.
She said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out. So thank
Okay,
you.
well, you let us know how that
I'm
works
gonna
out
do
for
it,
you.
y'all. I'm gonna do it.
No, I
Hey,
know.
my
Look,
fucking
I
friend
don't doubt
biked
it.
America when she was like 18. She did it on a bicycle.
Really? That's just a lot of work for me.
I just want to do it. I feel like it's like
No, I think that's amazing.
No,
I think
I mean,
that's
that is.
amazing.
imagine
I love
looking at a
it,
country
but not for me.
on a map and you're like, I fucking walked that.
I like
Did-
looking at countries and be like, oh my God, I went to the Louvre. Oh my God, I had a great croissant at this restaurant. It was delicious. Oh, I love that.
Delicious.
The Amalfi Coast. Oh, I did that. It was an
my
amazing trip.
gosh.
You know, like I love that. I
Yeah.
did that too. That was also
I did
Italy.
that too.
Chef's. Yeah, I know. I really could. Sometimes I
Yeah.
forget about the countries I've been to. I
Yeah,
will
no.
say real quick. This is another episode. Like one of the least favorite places, and I probably won't even include this in this episode. But one of my least favorite was Prague. It was
Really?
just
Everyone
not a
loves
fun.
that one. I've never been.
Yeah, because so I went there with my husband, and the people were not nice. The
Yeah, it's
natives
Eastern
there.
Europe. It's fucking,
Yes.
yeah.
And so Eastern Europe attitude was just, and it's also just like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to give you my money and you're going to disrespect me like this with your
Right.
attitude.
Right.
And it's to me something that I just can't comprehend. Like, I get it. And I also, look, Prague is, filled with a lot of young adults because they go there from like, especially if you're studying abroad, they go there to
Yeah,
drink because it's like a
drink.
party town.
Mhm,
Fine.
mhm.
But we're not even giving you that vibe, and you giving us the energy that, like,
I
towards
hate
the
that.
end when we were dropped off at the airport, the guy was haggling with me about how much I was supposed to give him. I was like, listen here, Lana told me this amount over email. This is what I'm giving you, and I'm leaving. And we were
Right.
flying to Copenhagen. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of this country because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm done. My husband, who is not by any means like aggressive, like, quick to fight, like
Yeah.
the night of his birthday there, he was like, let's go back to the room, bring some drinks back to the room because I'm gonna punch somebody in the face.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not
And
Adam
Nachi
feeling
knows
that
my husband.
way.
Yes. Because he was just like, they're just so rude, like to the point he's like, and I found out they were more rude to him, maybe because he was a dude and I'm a woman. Like they would just fuck up his wine, fuck up his orders, and he's just like, what the
Right.
fuck? Yeah, and with attitude. So it's just like, you fucked up and then you still giving me attitude? No,
They're like,
it
take
was
that wine and drink it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Prague
no.
was
The
the
people
worst
can
place
make
I've
or break
probably
a
ever been.
place.
Oh yeah.
Every place has beautiful buildings. Every place has a beautiful tree. Like,
Yeah, I was like, this
how's your
architecture,
attitude?
I've seen it in other parts
I've
of
seen it.
Europe, so I'm good.
I'm
So
outta
you're not giving
here.
me anything extra. That's like,
Right.
No, the
no,
people
it
make the
was,
place
mhm.
100%.
It was
100%.
terrible. It was
Yeah, shout
terrible.
out to London. Why y'all got an attitude?
They're like, because we can.
I don't know.
They're
That's how I feel
like,
about
we're the
London.
#1 colonizers. Yes.
Okay.
They're like,
I
nobody could
love.
beat us.
#1.
You're right. You're
You're
right.
right. You're right.
You're right. You got it. That being said, Marie. Oh my goodness, this has
Wait,
been
wait.
so
What's
much fun.
Nachi's? What's Nachi's?
Oh,
I
wait,
don't
that's
know.
right.
I don't know.
Nachi, you had this question. Like, y'all two
Yes.
are annoying me right now. At least Marie, she came back. Nachi, you had like 30 minutes to figure this out. Now you had
She said,
days.
I don't know.
You had
I
a
don't
whole
know.
week, and then now the last 30 minutes, and you still don't know.
Okay. One place, Italy, but I don't know where in Italy. So.
Okay.
Okay, well, at least that's a country. Thank
Yes,
you.
It's a country.
Yes. Okay. There you
All
go.
right, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Then we got to go to Italy, sister. It's so nice. The food is so good, and the people in Italy were
People are
really
good.
nice.
Yeah.
The people in Italy were really nice.
Yeah.
I like them.
Good.
I didn't like the people in Spain that much. They were okay. They weren't terrible, but
They're fun.
you know what it was? It was because where I went, it wasn't, let me not say, I'll take this back. It wasn't the Spanish people. It was the tourists that were there.
The Brits in
And
Spain,
yes,
probably.
and I think he might have been British
Yeah.
and like, I think he tried to mistake me for a hooker because,
Oh.
they were, yeah, because he was saying something to me. I said,
Wait.
don't fucking touch me. Watch your mouth. And I'm with your parents. This is when I'm with your parents.
Oh my
Like he said,
gosh.
and I was just like, it's like, do I fucking look to you like I'm like, stop playing with me?
Oh my gosh.
See, Marie, this is why I feel like this is why I have a Swiss Army knife. Why y'all fucking with me?
Don't fucking touch me.
No, I was like, no, I don't touch me. I don't think he was like touching my arm, like trying to say. I was like, and then he
No,
was
that
like,
was just a
okay.
drunk Brit abroad.
Yeah, but
He's
he
like, I
wasn't-
guess she's
he
not
wasn't-
a hooker.
Right. He wasn't Spanish because I remember. So I'm like, I can't really put that on.
Yeah,
Spain.
no, that
But
wasn't
Spain. I
Spain.
loved. Spain was good.
Control your people, England. Get them together. They're everywhere. I love it though.
I know, no, but they're also good people. So they're hilarious.
Yeah.
But
You just got that was just one perv. That's all.
yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Nachi, for your answer, and thank
You're
you, Marie,
welcome.
for holding us accountable for getting Nachi's answer.
But all her answers, she just said she was like Italy.
I know. There was no,
Like nothing else.
like, oh, why Italy?
No.
No,
She said-
I don't have a why.
Italy.
I mean, I've
It's
always
just a
wanted
place-
to visit
You'd always
Italy.
want to-
I just,
you know
yes.
what? That was
So
the place
that's-
you did wanted to get married, and I
Yes.
remember that. You've always
Aw.
talked
So,
about Italy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've always wanted to visit Italy.
I love that.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I have to visit one day. One
Yeah.
day coming.
Yeah.
I just have to figure out where in Italy that I want to go to.
No, you don't, because you just go back. That's the beautiful thing about Italy. It's like,
Yes.
honestly,
That's true.
I go back and I want to go back
More.
because there's other places I want to visit. You can't, that's not a country you can see
Just
in
one
like a
time.
week.
Yeah.
No, you
Well,
go,
no,
you go to one,
but
or,
I'm just
meaning like you go to one city or two for a
right,
week, but you're gonna go back because it's so dope.
right, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
All right,
Italy
well,
it
thank
is.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sister. Marie, okay, now we can actually close. Thank you for being here.
Yes, this was
and
so
for
lovely. Fun.
yeah.
Love it.
This is a really good time. And again, thank you for taking that time, and especially with the time differences being huge. So we totally appreciate you sharing your stories, and also just the potentially inspiring others to maybe
Yes.
follow your path
Yes,
of
absolutely.
doing something where it's just like you could do this for a living, travel full time, and
Yes.
still
Have
work
freedom.
and still earn money, and even if it's not for you, at least you could be inspired nonetheless and still travel and enjoy your time. And I think I'll close out with also the biggest thing about traveling and when you're going to these different places is to be mindful of, be present. When I say mindful, it's like be present in the moment, because that's how I got connected, right? Be present, and also be mindful of the people, the community, respect. Show some respect. This is where they live, and they are opening their homes to you, because when you're in their
Yes.
country, they are opening their homes to you. So
Right.
I would just close out with that. But if you can, Marie, tell people where they can find you and follow your podcast.
Yes. Well, first of all, I would actually want to shout out my business coach in case someone's like, wait, I want to get the fuck out of my corporate job and travel or just have more freedom in your life, have no boss. Her podcast is called the Digital Nomad Life Podcast. I actually edit it, and her name's Krista. And you can always just like reach out to me if you just are curious about her program, but life changing. I just like, it's just crazy. Everything I've experienced is like because of her. And if you want to reach out to me, my podcast Instagram is at Culture Cult Show. If you like memes, I'm your girl. That's all I post. I don't post shit except for memes. And yeah, it's a good time. And then my podcast, okay, I'm working on the SEO right now, but it's called Culture Cult. But to find the show, you're going to have to type in Culture Cult Travel Show. And you're going to put that in the show notes because it's going to be easier. Essentially, the podcast is, I explained that I'm from Alabama. So I grew up really ignorant. So the podcast is a chance for you to learn about every country in the world without leaving your home. And that way you can, if you do meet someone from like the Czech Republic or Tanzania, you can be like, oh, I know about your country. Did you know this? And you can connect and we can make this world smaller and better. But it's also a comedy podcast. So I bring on comedians. I tell them about this country they've never heard of. And I usually end with a really crazy story from that country. Like there's a guy who he could never die. There's a guy who had 9 lives in Croatia. I'm covering a guy who has survived a cruise ship sinking in Zimbabwe. Like he's from Zimbabwe. He's saved 500 people on a cruise ship. That's a lot of death. Let me find another one. There's like
she's like comedy.
I'm trying to think of another story.
People almost died. It's
the
okay.
murderous mermaids that people say that are in the waters in Zimbabwe. Like it's like history travel comedy, and it's called Culture Cult, and it's in the show notes. And if you, that's it. If you want to just fucking become less ignorant, that's it. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you for that. And so I'm just going to close out the way Nachi and I always do. There's a lot of noise out there, but our message is consistent. Stop getting distracted by the smoke and the mirrors. Tune out the noise and focus on your divine purpose in life. Vibrate higher to elevate your frequency. And always, thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you.